Today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars build, the Millennium Falcon, issues 10, 11, 12 and 13. So the parts we get with these issues, it's mainly the metal structure and a lot of the outer panels for the underneath. They're not very interesting. So we'll take a look at those, but more interestingly, I've been assembling and painting some of the parts you've already seen. So since you last saw this piece, I've added all these little greebly bits on there, and this whole section has been primered, ready for some weathering, which I'm going to do a lot later on in this build. And I've also painted the other side black. Now this comes with a black sticker that was supposed to go around there. It doesn't really fit very well around these lugs, so I thought it'd be easier just to paint it, and that'll stop any light bleed issues we might see in the future. And this is the other half of that tunnel, and again on the top you can see some of the pieces that have been added. There wasn't as many on this. They are very, very small though. And again, this has been primered with grey. I'm really happy with the finish on these. I used an airbrush to do these. I'm not really sure what the final colour is going to be. It'll be similar to this. As I've had Millennium Falcon toys over the years, I've got this urge to paint it like that brown beigey colour. But I don't really think it's meant to be that. It's more of a grey. In a similar vein, we've got the two halves of the cockpit, and I did spray that one black. That was a little tricky to do, so I've just left it primered in the grey colour for now. I may go back and do that black, but depending on how much you're going to see when it's all assembled. I do know when you fit the cockpit in you can see some of this though, so that's why I went with black for this part. Now this section I showed you last time, this is where we shine the lights through. I've done a bit of painting on this door. I wasn't really happy with the colour. It needs to be a bit lighter than this though, so I'm not really finished yet, but that's the way we're going with it. And obviously that's going to clip through there. And you might not be able to see, but I've actually painted some. I used some really old Games Workshop inks that I had, and what we'll do is when you shine the light through there it'll come out with a different colours on it. I know that bit's red and these have a sort of blue tint, but beyond that I just made it up, to be honest. So this is the two halves of the gun. Now I wasn't happy with these, so I've super glued those bits to the sides and I started primering this, but you can see the paint really didn't go on very well, so I'm going to have to do another coat on that. You can see where it's chipping away at the edges. I'm still contemplating drilling some holes in the ends of there as well, so that's why I haven't really put this together yet. And this is going to be weathered. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this yet, so there's no rush. A lot of the pieces I'll show you today, they're actually hot glued onto cocktail sticks, which makes them a lot easier for spraying with the airbrush. And you just stick them in some polystyrene when you want them to dry. That comes off with a bit of rubbing alcohol. It's better than using blue tack because it doesn't fall off. So this bit didn't get painted because I added that after, but this is going to be the console for the inside of the Falcon. And these are two bits of the bunk that goes behind the seat in the chest table. There's a little bit that fell off there. I'm going to have to re-glue that. But all you're ever going to see of this is the beige bits basically. You won't see any of these side bits, they're all covered over. Looking at the Falcon though, there's a little thing there which I don't really know what to do with that. I might just paint a black square. Now these two side panels are part of the cockpit. Now I did this cockpit in this, it's like a grey but it's got a hint of blue. As I owned the original Falcon back in the day, I've got this real urge to paint the cockpit in a blue colour, so I thought if I go grey with a hint of blue then it's kind of best of both worlds. These obviously need a lot of cleaning up, they're going to be weathered as well on top of that. And as they're stuck to cocktail sticks, I can't actually show you how they fit on just yet. But I can show you this repainted cockpit section. I'm not really happy with this, the way it turned out. I think I should have put some kind of varnish on that before I did a wash on it. But this is going to be so heavily weathered you won't see that. I did also encounter this weird problem of shrinkage. I think it's because I've used like Vallejo paints to do the base coat, and then I used Games Workshop's washes to do the wash. I've seen this before with a glaze and it seems to like shrink the paint and reveal the base coat underneath. Some of these pieces haven't been painted yet. I haven't done the little control sticks and I haven't done these two little things. I think I may have even stuck them on the wrong way, which I'll have to check on. These were metal, but I've painted them from scratch, so you can kind of see there we've got the same problem where the wash has taken off the paint. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll sort it out. I've also been around this sticker with a bit of paint And again, this was what the wash did. This was all painted. But you can see there's a little line. There's a bit more on there. It's like it shrinks the paint. It's very strange. And there's the front of the Falcon. We'll see that through the front. That's been dry brushed and washed. On top of that, we also have new painted seats. I quite like the seats, but I thought I'm going to paint it. I'm going to do it all. So we're going for a kind of leather effect. Didn't really go too much with the back because you're never going to see it. But they're going to fit on there quite nicely. I've got a little bit more to do on these. I bought some weathering pastels. And we'll see what we can do with those. So for now, there's the two front seats. They're going to look pretty cool. Now the back seats, these aren't finished, but this is where I'm going with it. I need to do a bit of metal scratching on this and also some dusting. These little lines are very, very dusty. But I'm quite happy with the leather effect I've got there. The mould on these isn't perfect. It's meant to be more of an angled top to it, but yeah, well, that's what we've got. So that's where we're looking with the cockpit. I'm quite pleased with that so far. So I've also assembled quite a large section of the inside. Those little things I thought were cable ties. They're actually the bits that go around this little archway. That was a bit of a pain to do. We've also got these pipes, and you can see how they go around there. You have to stick them together and they look horrible. But luckily, you can't really see it from this side. This one isn't glued down properly yet. That's not really sure where the top's going to fit, so I thought I'd better just leave it unstuck for now. This section I've stuck down. We've got these two little pipes and these sections, and we also get some of these. These look awful. They need painting from scratch, so they're going to be a nice horrible looking metal effect. I want to do those with the airbrush though, so I get a nice smooth effect on the metal, which is why I haven't stuck them down yet. So then we have this section which I still need to paint. That's going to be where the bunk goes when I finally get there. And then we have the seat. So this didn't go together too well. You can see there's a few gaps around the bottom there. It was really fiddly and annoying. And this is definitely getting a full repaint. They also had the nerve to say, well, oh, you've got to fill a bit of it in, so where you're going to see it behind there, you won't have those big gaps in the plastic. This is quite deep, so it's taken me a few goes. I need to do another layer on that really and smooth that off. I want to get it nice and flush before I paint this. When that's all done, that seat's going to go about there somewhere, and then we'll have the little chest table in there, which I'm thinking I may need to do from scratch as well. I'm hoping we get something for this floor because it doesn't really look very good. In the Falcon it has like a kind of grill on the bottom. Don't know what I'm going to do with that. Something else I discovered with this, you're supposed to use all these screws to hold it together, and you can see, look at the state of that. If you weren't going to paint this, it's going to look horrific, especially over here. You're going to see the screws. So I've opted for glue. I've got that one to stay. This one, I'd use super glue at first and it's just not holding. I need to use cement to bond that properly. And this one looks alright. So I'm not even going to bother screwing that together. I don't want to risk ripping the plastic up. I'm just going to glue it. So as for the framework, this piece, you've seen that before. That piece I can't remember if you have or you haven't. Doesn't really attach to anything yet. And new piece wise, we have this massive section. I believe this is for the underneath. I think it would go that way around. This, I had a bit of problem as well with these screws. These ones were okay, and all they do is they hold that little joining piece across these two metal bits. This one, the screws were too small for the holes, so I just super glued them in. It's pretty sturdy, so I'm not really worried about that. So as for the rest of it, you've seen a lot of this before. This one I'm not painting until I find out what's going in these holes. I don't want to have to go back and paint it again. This piece as well, we seem to have something that might go there, so I'm waiting for that one. And the same with this, there's got to be something to fill these, possibly them as well. So I'm looking forward to getting rid of that horrific paint job on that though. This one, I think you saw this last time, but I've primed this one. You can see the difference there. I'm pretty happy with that. Took a lot of smoothing out around the edges though. And then new panels, we've got this one, we've got this one, which I think that's going to be where the boarding ramp goes. And there's this one. And finally, this one. Not very interested, I'm pretty sure this is all the underside. And that is where I'm at this month. We did, however, get a free gift this month, so I thought I'd show you that. So when this Build the Millennium Falcon first came out, this said we were going to get a Han Solo figure. And I figured it would be like this one. This is Han Solo from Imperial Assault. I thought this would be about the right scale. Looking at the pictures, it looked about it was going to be that scale. But no. We got this. So this is a Han Solo figure that's about 8 inches tall and doesn't really scale with the Falcon whatsoever. It's completely solid, it's like a statue. And it's not bad, especially being free, except for one thing. That is one incredibly bad face sculpt of Harrison Ford. I've seen a lot of Han Solo figures in my time, and that is gotta be one of the worst. It's a shame really, because if you look at the rest of the figure, it's actually really well done. It even comes with a nice base that has a felt bottom, and it's got this little plaque on there. So it was a nice idea, but come on, if you're going to spend this kind of money on a Falcon, you probably own a lot of Han Solo toys. And there's certainly a lot better ones out there than this. It's fair enough it was a freebie, but looking at the pictures, it looked like a miniature. That face sculpt on a miniature would be fine. But on this size of statue, ooh. So there you go guys, that is it for today. I will see you next time. This has been Luke, thanks for watching.